listen to, because they have 2 albums before this, right? Ian, stop doing that to your microphone. That is your child's sock.
Dude, it's been my pop filter for like months at this point.
So
Oh my gosh, have you ever smelled a baby's sock? It smells like a sock because babies don't smell.
I swear to God, if you don't use that as the intro, I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so
Oh, that is so funny.
angry.
Dang it, I just played myself. Hello, welcome to another episode of the Chordcast. This is Ian, and yes, I use my daughter's sock as a pop filter right now. Deal with it. Head to our website, thechordcast.com, and check out our blog. We just started doing transcriptions of our episodes, so you can find links to all the music we mention, and then you can easily quote us for tweets and stuff. All right, here's Joelle.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for listening to Chordcast. My name is Joel Alexander, and I'm here with my dudes, Ian and Chris.
Hi.
That's what we are.
Usually people say hello.
Right, but usually you say, how's it going? Like, how am I supposed to tell you how I'm doing if no one asks, if nobody cares?
Okay, how's it going, guys?
So good. Thanks for asking.
You're so welcome. Chris, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's about it.
That's
Yeah.
all.
I'm good.
That's all they're going to give me. All right. So we'll hop right into it. Chris, what are you listening to?
I'm listening to the same thing that both of you are listening to.
You don't know what I'm listening to. You don't know me.
Actually.
The new album by Don Broco.
Don't talk about money, cause money talks. Don't take a picture hourly. I see them all. I'll be your friend, I'll help you out.
Oh.
Technology.
Turns out you know me.
Yep.
Also, it's in our show notes.
Yes. And just for a little bit of difference, I'm also listening to The Smiths.
Nice. Burn the DJ.
True story. I don't think I've ever actually listened to the Smiths except for in the movie 500 Days of Summer.
They're a great band. You should listen to them. They're like you can really jam to them. Like, just dance.
You can
Yeah?
you can jam and dance and also cry yourself to sleep.
Oh, my favorite.
If you've never done all three, I highly recommend it.
It's the Smiths trifecta.
All right. I'll keep that in mind. Ian.
I'm listening to a little-known band called DON BROCO, and I'm really enjoying their new album called Technology.
You're really
And-
good at this.
I'm so dumb. Okay, Don Bronco. Don Bronco! I say it every time! Don Broco. It's such a good album, and we're gonna
Can you
get into
imagine
that
how
later.
many interviewers have screwed that up for them?
Dude, I know. I'm also listening to, thanks to a suggestion of one of our Twitter followers, I was listening to the album Sketches of Brunswick East by the band King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And it's crazy. It's really, really good, but it's surreal music. It's it's like if you took jazz and almost circus music and gave it a 40s spin. I don't even know.
Boy, howdy.
It is a crazy album. Super fun to listen to.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, you guys should totally listen to it.
I'm going to check it out just for that name.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. That's all right, boys, we actually going with this band name because we have to be committed.
It's like they were like, we're just going to put this as a placeholder. And then
Yeah, and then they accidentally submitted it to Spotify, and it was like, oh, no.
it sounds like a VeggieTales episode or something.
It totally does, man. Oh, my gosh.
What?
Larry and Bob in King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
See?
It totally is.
Super cool. As my
Hey, Joelle,
co-host,
what are you listening to?
Well, as my co-host, totally spoiled, I am also listening to Technology by Don Broco. And I'm not kidding when I say that the album was on repeat literally all day yesterday. I got to work at 8. I turned it off, and I didn't turn it off until 5 p.m. when I had to go to work.
Yesterday was release day.
Yeah.
For context.
I don't even know. That's 9 hours of Don Broco.
That's pretty crazy. And
How
it actually
long is
the album goes by pretty quick for having 16 songs. Like there's no really long songs except for the last one, which is just because of a secret bonus track.
How long is the album as a whole?
I want to say it's just about an hour. Because if you, let's see, each song is
Spotify say that?
about 3 minutes.
59 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I listened to the album 9 times yesterday.
That's impressive. I listened to it once because I work.
So do I. Hello.
Just kidding, I know. So we're listening to Don Broco. It's great. We're going to review it after taste test.
Yes. Speaking of taste test, Ian, kick us off.
All right. So I was given The Anesthetist by Enter Shikari from Joel. And then I was given Last January by Twilight Sad from Chris. And I really love both songs.
Yes.
Yes. So I have,
Killed
let me
it.
pull up my notes here. Yeah, you guys did. I would say, Joel, you rekindled an old flame.
Doctor, face the anaesthetist. Face the anaesthetist. I wanna go under the knife, I believe in this. Face the anaesthetist. Face the anaesthetist. I wanna go under the knife, I believe.
I haven't listened to Enter Shikari in such a long time. Like, it was high school that I listened to them. And for some reason, they just dropped off my radar. And so listening to this song again, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I forgot how much I love the way they combine essentially dubstep and hardcore. But it's not that simple, like, because it's, I don't know. So the notes that I have here are, in this particular song, the break, like when it finally builds up to the breakdown, it's like, like if I was at this show, I would, like, even if I wasn't in the pit, I'd be like, now's my time, and I would just jump on
It's my
people.
time to shine.
Yeah, I'm like, here I go. My problem is when I get in the pit, I'm the guy that ends up, everyone looks at me and they're like, get me up, and I have to like give everybody lifts up to surf just because I'm a big dude, but whatever. So yeah, I also say in here that, I love the lyrics especially because I have a bandmate who has a son who had a heart transplant. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the whole song kind of alludes to the ridiculous price of healthcare. And so, but it was really, really good. And like the last line where he's like, basically, F you. I was like, yeah. And so it was super exciting. I have no idea what their medical debt's like, but I imagine it's not fun. And so, everything about this song I loved, and I ended up listening to the most of the rest of the album because I was just like, yes. And then there's another note I put in here. I love it for some reason when an English band, their accent carries over into the music versus, anyone else that's like, oh, they're English? I had no idea. Because there's just something, there's a lot of good punk that came out of England, obviously. And so when you can hear that English accent and then they do scream, oi, it's like just super punk. I love it.
True story. The first time I heard that album, the album that The Anesthetist is off of, for those listening, is The Mind
What did I
Sweep.
say it? The Anesthetist.
The Anesthetist.
The Anesthetist.
That's how he says it in the song, so that's what I'm going to go with. So that album's called The Mind Sweep, and I knew of Enter Shikari, but I hadn't really listened to them a whole lot. And I got a ticket to go see them live when they were in Boise on the Minesweep USA tour. And so I went because I had a ticket. It was weird. It was like a freak thing. Like my friend walked by me in my building at school and was like, I have a ticket here, and like threw it to me. And I was like, okay. It was really cool. So I went and I saw them, and it's such a good show. It was such
I would
such a
love
good
to see
show.
them live. How was the light show? Do
They
you
were like
remember?
either just in Seattle or they're going to be.
I'm pretty sure they were just here because I remember seeing their name. And I always get sad because I just have no time for shows ever. And so I just see bands come to town and I'm like, pour one out for my homies. Like, wish I could be there. But anyways, no, do you remember if the light show was good or not?
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. It's seriously one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Yeah.
And the thing, like, I didn't even, usually I say that about bands that, like, I know and I love and I, like, sing along to everything.
Right.
Enter Shikari, I was in the back, which we know is weird for me. I'm always up front.
Oh, right,
So
yeah.
I was in the back with a friend who also was going, and it was such a good show. And I listened to the album after, because I'm a moron and I didn't listen to it before. And so what is the song? Torn Apart. And there is an instrumental part near the end of that song. And I swear to God, the first time I heard it, I cried because it was so
really?
beautiful. I was like, oh my Lord. Yeah. I love that album.
I love
seriously
when you get
that album.
swept up into emotions like that.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I
then
know you
the
don't
last-
like
I think-
Manchester Orchestra, but when I saw them live for the first time, dude, I cried. It was so good.
I think The Anesthetist and The Last Garrison are my two favorite songs off that album.
Last Garrison's a cool song, too.
Yeah, when he's like, let me hear your war cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's pretty
sick,
cool.
dude.
Yeah, so, anyways, Enter Shikari. Sewed up, the anesthetist or the anesthetist, whichever floats your boat. All right, so Twilight Sad by, Last January by Twilight Sad. So literally it took about 2 seconds before I realized I'm going to love this song. Like, it immediately sets the atmosphere. Like, it's this weird, haunting, sad tone that just right off the bat I was like, oh man, I've been taken to a place.
I see you at night, and I stare at you. You don't care.
You know, and so, like, there's the textures, the synthesizers are super cool, the guitar tone. It's a super creepy song, and I have no idea what it's about. I looked at the lyrics. I tried to decipher them. I'm going to talk mostly about the lyrics because musically, it's fairly consistent throughout the whole song. There's nothing that's technically amazing about the instrumental part of it, but it's just the whole atmosphere of the song is super cool. And so, like, after reading the lyrics, I'm like, is he a stalker? Or is he just, like, lonely? Because he talks a lot about, like, eyesight and, like, when our eyes meet. Or, like, but the way the lyrics are, let me see, hang on, let me look up the lyrics real quick. Because I was like, oh, dude, this guy's kind of creepy. Last January, bye. Okay, so there's lines in here like, I see you at night, and I stare at you. You don't care for me. Like, that's the opening line. And then it's, without the light, I still glare at you. And then, so, like, it's this weird, you get this weird stalker vibe. But then he says stuff like, you are too old to fare on your own. And I'm like, okay, what? Like, stalker, now he's stalking a grandma.
Chris, this is what you listen to?
And then, so that's this line right here. So he says, they say it can't be done, and they say it's all just fun. It's your eyes touching my eyes.
Oh boy.
Dude. And then he says, won't you comfort me? Comfort me. And then the end of it is, this isn't you that I came for. This isn't you that I waited for. And so I'm like, okay, in my mind, here's what I've constructed. This song is about a guy that was sexually abused by someone when he was young. And so he goes and he finds them and he's stalking them, and they're super old at this point in their life, and he's come there to kill them.
It's like in Parks and Rec when Joan Calamezzo's like, speculate wildly.
But what thoughts did you have on my theories?
Well, first
about
of all,
the
I'm
song?
glad you liked the song because I found this band a few years ago now, and
Are they from Ireland or Scotland?
You asked me too quickly. They're either Irish or Scottish.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But one of the reasons I like them, one is because the music itself is very atmospheric, which you mentioned, and the lyrics are, for the most part, don't really make a whole lot of sense, as you can tell. I mean, some of them make sense in other songs, but they're a very more like dark, moody band. In fact,
Yes,
Ian, I think
very
you should
much
listen to
so.
the rest of the album because it's really good.
Oh, I will for sure. I'm super happy.
And some
with
of their
both
older
these.
stuff, some of their older stuff too is a little bit more darker, I guess you could say. But I like your interpretation of the song. I've never viewed it that way. I've viewed it more as like a tragic love song about somebody. Like he wants to be with somebody and they don't want to be with him. Like they don't view him in the same way. So that's the way I see it. But I like your interpretation too. It definitely makes
sense.
It's
two wildly different. Like, oh, it's just a cute love song, and I'm like, he's there to murder his sexual abuser.
Yeah. I wouldn't say cute love song.
Right. Okay. Well, that's my taste test, which just took the entire podcast to go through. So let's. Who's next?
One thing before we go on.
Yeah.
I meant to say this, but I guess you guys couldn't hear me. I also like that song by Inner Shikari. That whole album is actually really good. So I was like you guys. I found this album after knowing about Inner Shikari from like 10 years ago, and never really got into them before. But I definitely really like this album.
Yeah,
I need to listen to the new album.
Yeah, I definitely want to. I haven't listened to it yet. There's so much freaking new music I need to listen to, and that album came out last year, right? It's not even technically new anymore.
I think it's 2015.
No, I'm sorry. The album The Spark by Inner Shikari came out 2017.
Well, they're touring like the world with it right now. I think it was late 2017.
Okay, so I'm not super behind.
No.
Cool.
No. Okay. Chris, take it away.
All right, so my songs were Traveler Song by Future of Forestry and Stand Amid the Roar by Silverstein.
Guess who gave Chris each of those songs?
Yeah.
Hey, Traveler Song's not even a weird song. It's not even like one of my weird, anyways, sorry.
No, I mean, yes, of course, you would give him Future of Forestry and I would give him Silverstein. Of course.
Oh, this is true.
So, I'm going to go with Ian's song first.
And if you travel here, you will feel it all. The brightest and the darkest. And if you travel here, listen to your heart.
I wouldn't say that you knocked it out of the park, but you had to use baseball references. I'd say you had a double play, maybe even a triple play.
Oh,
you didn't have a home run.
I'll take it.
But either definitely a double, possibly a triple, depending on
your mood.
Yeah. I like this type of music. It's very laid back, not straight up like acoustic, but it's very laid back. Reminds me a lot of a silent film, which Joel does not like. And this is not the reason that this isn't a home run for me. Is because I don't think this is not a band that if I would just hear them, I would be like, ooh, I want to look up the rest of their music. Which, to me, that kind of, like, if you have a song that I'm like, oh, I've got to listen to the rest of this. Like, to go back to one of yours, when I heard The Last Garrison by Inner Shikari, I immediately had to look up the album that it's on.
Right, yeah.
And I would not say the same for this song. Maybe another song on the album would, but
I would agree with that. Like, for me, Future of Forestry has always been like, I like a single here or a single there. I don't really listen to their full albums, except for their Christmas albums. Their Christmas albums freaking rule. Think about that next Christmas.
But yeah, I liked the singer's voice. I like the instrumentation. Overall, it's just really, it's not catchy. It's nothing that's going to change the world, but it's a solid song.
Yeah, that song helped me with anytime I'm feeling super down or just depressed, because it's a very good song about, like, it's basically traveling through life is kind of what it is. And so the chorus kicks in and he's like, if you travel here, you will feel it all, the lightest and the darkest. And like, it just goes on. It's like, I needed to hear that. It's a good song. It's a very encouraging song. It's a good one.
Now, as for Stand Amid the Roar, Joel knows that I'm somewhat familiar with Silverstein. We listened to what's their most recent one, Joel?
Dead Reflection.
Yes, big fan of that. I've also heard some of their earlier stuff, and I was not a fan.
Like Discovering the Waterfront?
Is that one of their first ones?
It's their second. Their first was When Broken is Easily Fixed.
It was whichever one is like way early in their career.
Both of them are relatively way early.
Okay, well, whatever. Anyways, I like this. I like this sound more than what they had before. Mm-hmm. It's less whiny. I know that might be insulting to you, but I feel like some of the earlier stuff is a little bit more whiny. This one is more down to earth and more mature sounding. And I like that it's heavy. I like the screams and the clean vocals. It's always a good song whenever you have good clean vocals and good unclean, because sometimes you have either or and it just like ruins the song.
It's all Shane. It's all Shane.
Which, you know, is also a good sign, because, you know, you can have a bad screamer and it just, you know, throws off the whole flow of the song or even the band. But yeah, I like this. I'm actually kind of curious to since I've heard one full album by them, I'm actually kind of curious to go back and listen to other stuff in like reverse chronological order, just to kind of see where the line is on what I like and don't like.
It's going to be a Shipwreck in the Sand. You're either going to not like or like a Shipwreck in the Sand, and then everything from then on you'll like. I'm calling it.
I think you've told me that before.
Yeah.
But yeah, so both really good songs. If I had to choose one, it would probably be the Silverstein one, just because it's more of my like general style of what I listen to. But yeah, good choices by both of you.
I reign supreme.
Whatever.
Boom. Dude,
My
I
song's
nailed it.
One of these days, Ian's going to give me a song that I just absolutely love.
Dude, you're just a moving target.
I
I can't, man. I don't.
He wants to kill you.
There's times I send you a song and I'm like, this is gonna blow his mind, and you're like, what is this? And I'm like, come on.
Excellent.
All right,
Okay.
Joel.
So my taste test so Chris gave me this song, and I am completely unable to pronounce the title or the artist. So Chris, help.
Okay, so technically it has two titles, depending on if you're using the English or Japanese name. It's from the video game Final Fantasy VII, and it's called Aerith's Theme, also known as Eris. Eris is her English name. So it's her theme, and it's composed by Nobuo Uematsu.
That was so impressive. That was really quite impressive. So that's what Chris gave me, and then Ian gave me The Coin Has a Say by Every Time I Die. I would just like to thank you for giving me two of the most completely different songs. We weren't even on like the same spectrum of music. It was like just Chris was East and Ian was West. So
right.
It was very different. It was really interesting to go from listening to Every Time I Die to the artists that Chris gave me. All in all, I liked both of the songs. I am not a huge Every Time I Die fan. I have tried to listen to them, like their albums, and I can't get through it, but I haven't tried just listening to a song, and I really enjoyed The Coin Has a Say.
I feel alright, but I'm buried alive. Nothing's healed, just covered by time. I wanna pray, but I think I'm possessed. Constant cardiac arrest.
The song is very unstructured, I would say, but I bet Ian would say it's structured. It was very like different. Like throughout the song, you have times where like there's, you know, definitely all of the instruments are in play and they're screaming, and then all of a sudden he's like sort of yelling, talking, and then it goes back to screaming, and then there's some singing, and so it's very different throughout the whole song. You're kind of listening, you feel like you're listening to three different songs. I've seen Every Time I Die live, and it was absolutely insane, and I thought I was going to die. So they put on a killer show, but if you don't like fearing for your life, probably don't go see them.
Yeah,
Chris's song.
The biggest circle pit I have ever seen in my life was at Every Time I Die show. Like I could just like I was just like running in a circle, and there's just like nobody in the middle except for like two guys like punch dancing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I wouldn't say that I would listen to them frequently or often, but I liked this song as a one-off song. It was okay.
It's a good angry jam.
What?
It's a good angry jam.
Yeah, I didn't understand the lyrics at all. It was just
they're weird.
It
They're
made
super
no sense
weird
to me.
That's
And
a lot
maybe-
of Every Time I Die lyrics, though.
Yeah, maybe that's why I haven't really liked listening to a whole album, because I really like cohesiveness and that it all makes sense, which is why I love Silverstein, because they're all concept albums and all of the songs matter to each other.
Right,
so,
totally not the case with Every Time I Die. And also every song feels like 3 songs, so I get tired listening to an album.
yeah.
Like I'll get 4 songs in and I'm like, that's enough.
We'll go again in a month. Yeah. Chris's song, Oh My Goodness, I Am in Love. It is so calm and so chill and so just, I don't want to say easy to listen to, but it's something that I will want to listen to soon, or like right now. Like I'll just be like, oh yeah, that song, and which is very different for me. There's very few composers that actually stand out. Usually I'll just go find like a Spotify piano music playlist or Spotify classical music playlist and just listen to it. And I love everything that's on there, but I couldn't tell you like, oh yeah, there's this one song by this one composer that I really, really like. But this song totally got me. It was so good. And actually I just like let it play. And so I had just looked up the song title. And so there were like different piano versions of it and stuff like that. And it just kept playing and it was amazing. And I loved it. So good job.
Dude,
Did
nice.
you listen to the specific one that I linked to you in the Facebook chat?
Yes.
Okay. Because it's a recording from one of the Distant Worlds Final Fantasy concerts.
Ooh, I should
so it's
listen
like
to that one.
It's like the orchestra version of the song because the game came out in 1997. So I was giving you like the straight up track from the game might be a little odd because it's, using instrumentation that you would hear in a 1997 video game. So it's not exactly, it doesn't do the song complete justice.
That's the one I listened to, and I was like, this is kind of cheesy.
That being said, you really have to understand. It's better when you understand the reason behind the track. I mean, it's the theme of a character who, spoiler alert, just for anyone who's never played Final Fantasy VII, skip over the next few minutes. This character dies in the game, and it was one of the biggest surprises and biggest plot twists in really video game history. Actually, fun fact, there were like, this was pre-internet or like right at the dawn of the internet. So like one of the early internet rumors was people trying to figure out how to get this character to come back to life in the game, which you can't do because
funny,
she dies. But during, like, she gets killed, and then you have to fight immediately after her death scene, and this song plays in the background, so it's like really emotional and really sad. It's just a very gut-wrenching scene for fans of that game, and that's why the song always like connected to me. This was like one of the first video game soundtracks that I latched onto, and this song is definitely one of the most popular in not only Final Fantasy but in video game music as a whole. So I'm really glad you liked it.
Yeah, it was dope. Well done, you guys.
Nice. That might be the longest taste test ever.
We had so many thoughts.
Which is great.
Do you want to re-record it and I'll just be like, I liked it, and then
No, this is fantastic. I love it.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for the awesome taste test tracks. Woo! Okay, so now we are moving into our discussion segment, and we all just unanimously agreed on this discussion because we all have I feel like we're either going to have a lot to say about it or very little because, yeah. So we are going to be discussing the Technology album by Don Broco. We have mentioned the band probably 300 times in the beginning of this episode anyways. So we will be discussing our thoughts. discussing if it is a 10 out of 10 album, maybe mentioning some things that we like or didn't like, which I'm not sure exist, and then how it differs from their previous album, Automatic. So actually, while we were waiting for Chris to hop on Skype, because he was doing Ian's torture tracks, Ian and I had a very good discussion about the album and what we thought about it. So I'm curious, obviously you guys haven't heard this, but I'm curious to hear Chris's thoughts first.
Well, first things first, I thought this was interesting because this was the first album that all three of us were really excited about, because
True.
that's not happened as far as I know yet. So it's nice to have been mutually anxious for something and then we all listened to it like on the same day and then had thoughts. I don't really have a whole lot to say here. I listened to, because they have 2 albums before this, right?
They have 2 albums before Technology. The most recent one is Automatic, and the one before that is called Priorities.
Okay. Because I think I listened to both of these once, so I can't like recall really anything from them. I remember, though, that nothing about, I mean, the music was good, don't get me wrong, but nothing about their previous albums made me want to go back and re-listen to them, like, religiously.
I agree.
However, with Technology, I definitely want to go back and re-listen to this one. And I hope that it's not just because it's new. I hope it's because it's interesting, because I really liked this album. I'm going to bring up the track list just to see which ones, some of the tracks that I liked. But we had our Facebook Messenger chat on Friday, and we were all listening to it. And I think we all said that there were no tracks that were really like uninteresting, which especially in a 16-song album, you never get that.
Yeah, seriously.
And, everything here, I'm looking at the track list, everything with the exception of 3 songs are all under 4 minutes. There's only 2 that are over 4 minutes. And one of them's 4:04 and the other is 4:10. And then the other one is 6:51, but it has a bonus track to it. But it's weird because nothing about this screams like 10 out of 10 for me, but it doesn't have any imperfections. Like, it's just a straight top to bottom listen. There's really no imperfections. And I kind of want to know from you guys what you think about that statement, and whether you think it's a 10 out of 10, because I don't consider it to be one. However, it has no imperfections. So, like, what's holding it back from a 10 out of 10? I don't really have an answer to that.
I would say for me, it's not a 10 out of 10 because, like, I love it. Like, it's like a 9 out of 10. Like, it's a really, really, really good album, but there's nothing in it that I'm, like, emotionally attached to.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to look at it. Like, I'm looking here at the songs, and the ones I liked were Come Out to LA, which we had heard before. I liked The Blues. Blood in the Water was good, and Potty Mouth was also fine. I guess the only song I really didn't, like per se was Something to Drink, and I think part of it is just the title of the song and the lyrics. But it's not a bad song. It's just
I feel like I've been in the mindset of that song before, where it's just like, freaking give me something to drink.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, Ian, it's a good album. It's nothing like, there's not one song that just like comes at me that I'm always going to want to listen to, which I think is maybe the only bad part. But then again, if you did have that one song, maybe that would mean you would have to sacrifice one of the others as being a bad song. I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
But this is like definitely not like 8 out of 10 for sure. Maybe a 9. I'll have to give another listen to it, but no less than an 8 for sure.
I'll jump in and just say that it's just a really, really good record. And what's crazy for me is that it's 16 songs. So like, it's a long album, especially by today's standards. And usually when you have a 16-song album, you have 2 or 3 songs that are like the weird little minute-long interludes. So it's not actually 16 songs. But this is like full length. It's amazing. They kept the majority of the songs at 3 minutes, which is great for them because that means like most of the songs could get radio play without an edit. It's musically all freaking over the place. Like, I think we could all be collectively excited about this album because they cover so many genres and hit so many different points of just interesting music writing that there's something in there that we all love. And so, I mean, just listening to it, I don't think you can put them into a corner, so to speak. You can't define them. And I mean, that's kind of how they've been since their inception. They kind of just do whatever they want. And the only other band I can think of that does that and doesn't do it nearly as well as Don Broco is The Ongoing Concept. Because
They're from Idaho.
Yeah, they're super hardcore, but then they have these weird, like, you know, a song with the ukulele, and then they have, and it's just a ukulele, and then they have a song that sounds like it's straight up out of the show Glee. It's just weird. Like, they do what they want, but Don Broco does what they want, but it's sick, and it all ties together really well instead of coming out of left field. And it's all within one song. It's not like, you don't really have one song that's like, this is the hip-hop song, and then you have another one that's like, this is our heavy song. It's like every song is 5 different genres meshed together, and it works so well. Musically, they're fantastic. Their vocals are great. The melodies are super interesting. Their vocalist doesn't just have, he's not just a one-dimensional lead singer. Like, he does stuff with his voice. He uses his high register, his low register, like on Give Me a Drink. He's his low register the whole time. He does the more of the growly kind of vocals. Really nice, clean vocals, vocal runs. I could go on and on and on, but they're all really good musicians.
I want to say something, Ian, that you mentioned. 2 things, actually. One, you were talking about the album length and how sometimes if you have something of that's not like a deluxe edition, it really makes the album feel bloated. I thought that about Taylor Swift's Reputation.
Oh,
there's
right,
a few, it's 15 tracks, but there's a few there that you could probably put on a deluxe edition and, condense it down a little bit. Yeah. I didn't get that feeling with this. I felt like it wasn't too long. It wasn't obviously too short. It was pretty much the perfect size, which you are a good songwriting band when you have an album of that length with no interludes and, everything is a full-on track, and you don't have that feeling of, oh, is it going to be over yet?
Right, exactly. Like, I did not get tired of it while I was listening to it.
And then you also mentioned, I don't know the singer's name, but I like how he is not afraid to use his voice in different ways, and I think that's what makes the album a little diverse. It's not just the same kind of singing over and over and over and over again in the same style. It's very eclectic, but it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And it is a 10 out of 10 for me because none of the songs blended together, kind of like what we talked about on the last episode, like what makes a 10 out of 10 for us. Mm-hmm. And this album just had like everything. It was everything that I was hoping it would be and more, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Yeah, I love the song Come Out to LA, and that was a single that was released off of there. And I was really, really excited for the whole album because Ian and I also talked about this where technology is slightly heavier than Automatic. But not really, because when I say heavy, I mean usually when I say heavy, I mean like hardcore or metal or, whatever. And they don't really have that, but like the guitars are just heavier and it's a little bit more grungier and it's just a really, really cool sound. And so I highly suggest it. I think that no matter what you usually listen to, you'll enjoy this album because it's really diverse and it's such a unique sound compared to what is coming out nowadays from bands that are in the scene.
Right.
So I would say that if you're listening to this and you've never heard of them or you didn't like anything off of Automatic, you should definitely check it out because I think not that there's something for everyone, but everyone will find something on this album that they like, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I completely agree.
I kind of got the same feeling from this album that I did when I first heard Bones by Young Guns. I got this feeling, okay, this is really good. It's not perfect, like 10 out of 10, even though the Bones album is really, really, really good. There's a couple things about it I would do differently or change, but I got that same feeling of, okay, this is definitely a band to watch, and this is something that I can, really get into.
Yeah. Great album, guys. I know they're listening.
You're welcome. You're freaking welcome, because you guys would not have this without moi.
I've heard one of their songs like over the summer, last summer, but I couldn't tell you which one it was. I remember the name, but
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Joel.
yeah, I'm
Solid
You're
band.
welcome.
This is definitely one of your better picks for us.
Yeah.
Shut up.
The only reason I could see someone not, and it's a horrible reason for not listening to this, is being the person who's like, oh my gosh, everybody's talking about Don Broco. Oh, I'm just
please don't
I'm
be
not
that
even
guy.
gonna listen to them because everyone's just obsessed with them. They can do no wrong, whatever. Well, guess what? Don Broco can do no wrong.
Don Bronco.
Dorn Bronco.
All right, so pretty much the bottom line is listen to the album Technology by Don Broco and be amazed.
Chris, 8 out of 10. Ian, 9 out of 10. Joel, 10 out of 10.
It's a pretty good average.
Yeah.
That's an average of 9.
Dope. Wow, that was really good math.
Thanks.
All right. Ian, I know you're just trying to prolong this, and that's why you took taste test. You made taste test so long because you don't want to do this. But my dude, it is time. So this is a relatively, I hate saying new segment because it's been on here for a while, so I'm not going to say this. So now we're going into our torture track segment. What ends up happening is one of us is tortured and two of us get to laugh gleefully. And what we do is we pick 3 songs, 2 songs that we know that the person knows like for sure, be it creeping off of their Spotify playlist or just something that they've mentioned that they like before. And then we also do a song that is very, very popular, like on the radio, hopefully in this decade. Thanks guys for screwing me over last time.
Oh,
And
that was not screwing you over. You should know the
is
Backstreet
this Michael
Boys.
Jackson? I hate myself. Okay. So we split these 3 songs into different parts. And so we have 3-second clips, 1-second clips, 3-second clips, and 7-second clips. And we play the 1-second clip first. The person has to try to guess the artist or the song title. If they don't get it, they move on to 3 and then so on to 7. If they guess one or the other, that being the artist or the song title, they get half a point for that round. So if Ian guesses the song during the 3-second round, oh gosh, I don't even know how the points are broken out. I have to look.
Dude, I did this so concisely last episode.
I know.
So
Just
it's
play
10
that
points,
again.
10 points, 7 points, 1 point.
Yeah, 10 points, 7 points, 1 point. So let's say that Ian guesses the song on the 3-second clip, he's gonna get 3.5 points. So on. He really did a banger job last time. So we might just have to use that.
I just don't want to introduce it myself. And the victim today is me. I totally
I'm
could,
gonna
though.
die.
I totally could.
Okay.
I'm so, God, I hate doing this so much. Okay.
That sounds like a great segment, Joel. We should definitely do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I like this segment. I don't
Okay.
know what you guys are talking about.
I love this segment, but there's just an insecurity that comes along with it, you know? Okay. We ready to do this?
Yeah, so this is song number 1, 1 second.
Song number 1, 1 second. Here we go. Oh my God. Okay, I know this. Damn it. Okay. Nope. We're gonna go just 3 seconds. Here we go. Oh my God. Happy by Pharrell Williams.
Yes!
Oh my God. Well, here's the 7-second clip that nobody wants to hear. And that's enough. All right.
Oh my God.
Okay, so I'll
I'm
take
so
that. I'll take
happy
7
that
points.
I got you on the first 1
Dude,
second.
I was like, oh, I know this. Okay, let's go to song number 2.
Literally anything.
I know, that could be anything. Okay, here it goes. Okay, 3 seconds. Kill Switch Engage. My Curse.
Oh,
Nope.
no.
Dang it. I'll take half points. What song was it?
The Absolution.
Okay. I'm like that's one of those bands where I'm like, I totally know it's Kill Switch Engage, but I only know their singles by title. All right, the 7 second. All right, I'll take it. I'll take it. Let's see if I can get past 13 and a half points.
Let's do it.
Song 3, 1 second. Manchester Orchestra.
You know this. You know this. I promise you know this.
Manchester Orchestra. Oh my God.
This is so fun.
Oh,
God, I gotta do the 3 second. I gotta do the 3 second clip. Okay, here we go.
No!
I know. I gotta do it. Oh. You'll never know.
I'm gonna give you the 5 points though,
Oh, that's right. I do get 5 points.
because you guessed the artist.
Oh,
on the
okay, that's
1
fine.
second.
Yeah. Oh my God, what's the name of the song? You'll never know. Gung gung. Well, I'm totally spacing on the song title, anyways.
Shake It Out.
Oh God, you mean they're single? From the album that I rated a 10 out of 10.
Good job, Ian.
Oh, and here's the 7 second clip for our listeners. Oh God, that album is so good.
Ian,
18? No, 15. Oh God, I only got 15 points.
you kind of suck at this. Like,
I know
Kind of.
I suck at this. I'm
well,
really
okay,
not
so
good at it.
points for those who care. Chris is still currently whipping our butts. So Chris has 46 points, I have 36 points, and Ian has 29 points. You're only 7 points away from me, so not bad.
All right, I'm creeping up.
Creeping up. Who are you gonna give it to?
Oh, let's shake things up. I'll bounce back to Joel this time.
Dang it!
Yeah.
Knew he was gonna do that. I knew it. I don't. Why did I offer? I should have just been like, "So, Chris, you ready next time?"
You done effed up. All
I
right.
done goofed.
You done goofed. Okay.
Okay.
Well, shoot.
Well, that was highly humorous. Thank you for that.
Highly humorous.
Oh, God. Okay.
All right, my dudes. Recommendations.
I'm going to recommend people listen to Don Broco Technology. Please give it a listen. You won't regret it unless you do.
Which you shouldn't, so don't.
And if you do regret it and you don't like Don Broco, that's okay. Because
And be sure to tell us why.
Never listen to this again.
We all like different kinds of music.
Just know that it's nothing personal, but I probably hate you. Also, shouts to everyone who screwed me over on the freaking Napoleon Dynamite poll.
Yeah, dude, you are so wrong about that movie.
This
It
is a
funny.
shout out to everyone. You finally are getting your shout out on Chordcast. It's to say that you suck and you're wrong. So congratulations.
Music is
And if we could-
subjective, but movies are absolutely not.
If I could find out who voted yes, personally, I would give you a shout out just to say that you suck.
I voted yes.
Ian, you suck.
Thanks.
Well, that was a good recommendation. Yes, listen to Don Broco. Chris?
My recommendation is the Post-Traumatic EP by Mike Shinoda.
Do I even have a decision? Feeling like I'm living in a story already written. I'm a part of a vision made by somebody else, pointing fingers at villains, but I'm the villain myself. Am I out of conviction with no win in the sale? Or too focused on the end and simply ready to fail? Cause I'm tired of the fear that I can't control this.
Oh,
That
nice.
dropped,
I still
didn't it?
haven't listened to that. Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
you guys
good?
are.
I
Oh,
haven't listened to it either.
you gotta stop what you're doing right now and listen to it. It's 3 tracks.
Bye.
All right, see ya.
Is it good?
Yes, it's not what I was expecting. It's very emotional too. Like, there's one track. What is it? I think it's Over Again. I can't remember, but you just have to listen to it. It's really emotional.
Cool.
And then Mike put out videos too for it of him. I've not watched them, but I'm assuming it's him like singing along to the song, and I've heard that those are interesting to watch, but
Yeah, I'll watch for sure.
it's on Spotify.
Oh, cool. Okay.
My recommendation is the album Defy by Of Mice and Men. I am recommending this, and I haven't listened to it. So I am doing this because I am curious what everyone else thinks. So please listen to it and get back to us. I have heard mixed reviews. I've heard that it's dad rock. I've also heard that it's heavy and it's really, really good. So I will be listening to it and reporting back my thoughts in the next episode. But in the meantime, I would love if our listeners could listen to it and let me know what they think, just because I have heard so many different things from so many different people.
Can I chime in real quick? I've not
No.
listened to this whole thing, but I did listen to some of the singles. I love Unbreakable, even though it's very generic. It's a
Dad
good
rock.
song.
I take offense to the term dad rock.
It's because you're a dad and you like rock.
Yeah?
You want to fight?
But from what I've only heard of some of the singles, it's hit or miss. They also did a cover of Pink Floyd's song "Money," which is really strange. So yeah,
Interesting. I didn't know that.
yeah, it's like that's. I like that Pink Floyd song, and this is just it was weird to hear.
I actually unfollowed them off of Twitter. I used to follow them all on Twitter because I like Of Mice and Men. But they are so annoying. Good Lord. I swear to God, they retweet every single one of their mentions. And so all my timeline is Of Mice and Men mentions. I can't handle it. I just
Oh,
can't.
that's
I
so
can't do it.
annoying.
So if we would tweet how it's annoying that Of Mice and Men retweets their mentions and tweet it to them, and then they would retweet it, that's like
I swear to God.
Inception.
It's like retweetception.
Retweption.
Tweption.
Intweption.
This is a really bad speech impediment. I hope that LaCroix goes up your nose. Don't use that. Don't use that. For the love of God. Don't use that.
Oh, for this episode, it's brought to you by LaCroix Lime. I saw there was a tweet. Hang on, there was a tweet that was like, oh God, I gotta find it. It was like,
Is it like LaCroix is like drinking sparkling water and someone yells the name of a fruit
Yeah.
really loudly from the other room?
it's so funny.
It's
Oh
so
my
true. I
gosh.
hate LaCroix.
Dude,
I hate it.
I drink it so much.
Chris, do you like LaCroix?
I've never had it.
Oh, it's
Gross.
so good.
That's not like
so
a West
bad.
Virginia thing.
It must be a West Coast thing. then.
It's West Virginia's got the sweet tea.
No, everybody's sweet tea around here is McDonald's, so
Oh yeah, this is so disgusting. I had McDonald's sweet tea once, and I threw it out the window and cussed very loudly.
Well, you have to like scrape the sugar off your teeth afterwards. It's so gross.
It's horrible.
Cool. All right. Well, good episode, guys. It took us literally 2 hours.
I know, dude. Oh my God. I look at Kelsey. I'm like, I'm sorry. This is just... Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll catch you next time. What am I going to name this episode? Maybe Don Broco? Or maybe something more creative like Don Broco. You can follow me at Ian the Beard. You can follow Joel at XJoelMay. And you can follow Chris at The Curse of Chris. Of course, you can follow the show at The Chordcast. We'll see you again on March 1st.